Hi everyone, this is Cheryl and welcome to my sewing room. I'm going to demonstrate how to make this 4-patch table runner using these really pretty fall fabrics. So let's get started. You'll need the following supplies. This table runner is approximately 12 inches wide by 60 inches long. Out of fabric A, you'll need 5/8 yard. Cut 20 3.5 inch squares, cut 10 6.5 inch squares. Fabric B, you'll need 1/4 yard. Cut 20 3.5 inch squares. For your binding, you'll need 3/8 of a yard. Cut 4 strips 2 3/4 inches wide by 42 inches long. The fabric for the back, you'll need 7/8 yard. And then your cotton batting, you'll also need 7/8 yard. This is my fabric A and my fabric B. This is the 6.5 inch squares and these are the 3.5 inch squares. If you need help on how to cut out your squares efficiently and quickly, then click on the link in the upper right hand corner called Tips for Cutting Quilt Fabric. Take an A and a B 3.5 inch square and bring front sides together and stitch a scant 1/4 inch seam along here. Scant means to stitch slightly under a 1/4 inch. Then put your darkest fabric on top and press this seam towards the darkest fabric. Take 2 of these because you're going to have 20 of these when you're done. Take 2 of them and lay them out where you have dark and dark, light and light. Bring front sides together. Match your seams. Make sure the seam on the bottom is going in the opposite direction than the seam on top. Place a pin to hold this seam together and then stitch again a slight 1/4 inch seam along here. When you're done, you'll need to make 10 of these. After you're done stitching 10 of them, press the seam on the back side, unfold and press on top, and just make sure that this seam is all going in one direction. Take one fabric A 6.5 inch square, bring it face down on top of your 4-patch, and stitch a scant 1/4 inch seam. Then press the seam on back and have this 6.5 inch square on top, and then unfold and press. Press this seam towards your 6.5 inch square. Take 2 of them and lay them out in this pattern where the darker squares go at a diagonal like this. Then bring the 2 pieces together. Match your seam. Make sure the seam on the bottom is going in the opposite direction than the one on top. Place a pin to hold that seam together. Then stitch a scant 1/4 inch seam along here. After you finish stitching it, then press with your iron across this edge and then unfold and press on top. And try to have this seam going all in one direction. When you're done, you should have 5 of these blocks. Next step is to lay out all your blocks. So you could lay them out in this direction where all of the diagonal lines are laid in the same position, or you can lay them out in a zigzag pattern. So you would turn every other block in a different direction. After you've laid them all out in the order you want, then you need to begin stitching them together. So bring your first 2 blocks, front sides together, and line up your seams. Make sure the seam on the bottom is going in the opposite direction than the one on top. Stitch a 1/4 inch seam along here, and then go to your next one, bring front sides together, match the seams, and stitch 1/4 inch, and continue on down the row until you have all of them stitched together. After you've stitched all the blocks together, then make sure you press the seams on the back side, and then again press on top and try to press your seams all in one direction. We're now going to work on the fabric for the back. So leave your fabric folded, selvage edges together, and then fold it again in half. And up here at the fold line, put a pin to mark the center. Then unfold it, and you're going to cut it in half. So place your ruler on there. Of course, remove the pin so it's out of your way. And then go ahead and cut it in half. Stack the two pieces on top of each other with the selvage edges together, and we're going to cut that off. So line your ruler up straight across and trim these edges off. Then take the two ends here in the center here and stitch them 1/2 inch seam all the way across. Cut the width of the cotton batting the same width as the fabric for the back. Then layer everything. Place the fabric for the back with the pretty side facing down. Then place your cotton batting and then your table runner on top. You're going to leave anywhere from 1 inch to 1.5 inches at one end, and make sure you have fabric sticking out on all sides. Now you're going to go to the other end and you're going to trim this off. So smooth everything out first. Again, you're going to leave 1 inch to 1.5 inches here at this end. Place your ruler there and then cut that excess off. After you've got everything layered and make sure it's all smoothed out, then you're going to either place straight pins all over the top, or you can use safety pins. The straight pins, which should be okay for this table runner because it is small, but if you are doing a large quilt, make sure you use the safety pins. After you've pinned it all over the top, scatter the pins everywhere, then you want to do some quilting stitches to hold all of the layers together. One of the easiest options, especially if you're a beginner, is just to do stitch in the ditch. So you would stitch in this ditch here all the way across, going from side to side. Then you would go top to bottom. Or you could just do other stitches. You could do going on a diagonal pattern from corner to corner. You can use decorative quilting stitches if you have those on your machine. And you can even do the decorative stitching on a diagonal. One of the things that I recommend, or I highly recommend, is you use a walking presser foot. I know many of my viewers hear me talk about this all the time. It's a wonderful investment. It will make your stitching so much easier, and it's going to look a lot nicer. This helps to prevent your fabric layers from shifting apart, and also helps to prevent little pin tucks happening as you're stitching. After you have your table runner layers all pinned together, then I suggest that you roll it up, because it'll be a lot easier to control it while you're doing your quilting stitches. After you have completed your quilting stitches, then you need to trim this excess fabric off the edges. Place your ruler along the edge of your table runner top and begin trimming all 4 sides off. If you need instructions on how to put the binding on, then click on the link in the upper right-hand corner. For more table runner projects, go to the green screen at the end of this video and click on the links. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click on the thumbs up button. Don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. If you haven't subscribed yet, click on that red subscribe button down there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Don't forget to click on the bell and enter your email address so you'll receive email notifications about my latest videos. I'm Cheryl, and this is a lot of mayonnaise. See you next time, and happy sewing!